Okay, so picture this. You see the brand spanking new platform fighter on the block that everyone's playing, Rivals of Aether 2. You think it looks fun, and a lot of the characters are doing some pretty cool stuff. So you decide to buy the game and give it a whirl. You get in and boot up your first match and... what is that? Should I be worried about that? Does this hurt me? Why do I have leaves on me? What? I just exploded. They didn't even hit me. This guy broke the laws of physics just to style on me? Where did he go? Why is there two of them now? Dear God, can anyone help me please? Hey, shh. I'm here now. And today, we're gonna go over all the crazy stuff that characters can do in this game. Please note, this is not a character guide for every character in the game. You'd be much better off looking up a specific character guide for the character you want to main. The official Rivals of Aether YouTube channel has some great guides to get you started on any character that you're interested in. Past that, there's plenty of guides made by the community that can help you develop your knowledge on your main. I'll be sure to link those resources down below. In the meantime though, you can watch this video to learn just a bit more about what the other guys are doing. Be sure to like, subscribe, and all that jazz, and let's get into it. We're going from left to right on the character select screen, so let's start off with Zetterburn. Zetterburn is relatively simple in respect to the majority of the cast. Some of Zetterburn's moves will put fire on you. This does a small amount of extra damage over time, and will empower some of Zetterburn's attacks to do extra damage and knockback if he hits you while you're on fire. The moves that put you on fire are all of his specials, including both of his special get-up attacks and special pummel, and his back air. Moves that put fire on the ground, such as his down special or special get-up attack, go away after a set duration. When you're on fire, the moves he can hit you with to be empowered are his strong attacks and his forward throw. So be sure to be on the lookout for grabs or setups into strong attacks when you're on fire. Or if you're grabbed at higher percents without fire already on you, be cautious of his special pummel. Empowered forward throw can kill insanely early. You can avoid this by mashing special when grabbed to break out of his special pummel. Moving on to his brother Forsburn, he's a lot more complicated. He has some moves that place smoke clouds on the screen that both he and his clones can hide behind. The moves that put smoke on the screen being his neutral special, forward tilt, special pummel, and whenever his side special clone is destroyed. The smoke is removed when an opponent's hitbox comes into contact with the smoke. You'll want to be doing this pretty regularly to ensure he doesn't get too much smoke on the screen. Not only is he completely invisible as long as he isn't performing an attack while inside the clouds, if he teleports with his up special into a smoke cloud, he is completely actionable afterwards. There's not a hitbox if he teleports in smoke though, so that's nice. This makes him especially elusive when combined with his side special, which creates a clone. The clone itself can't attack, but it can be detonated using Forsburn's down special. By tapping neutral special with the clone out, Forsburn can swap between commanding the clone to run towards or away from his opponent for extra deception. Once there's some smoke on screen, Forsburn can use his down special to inhale smoke up to 3 times. After the third inhale, Forsburn removes all smoke on screen, and his special moves become empowered on their next use. He also gets a lot darker when he's got his empowered special move ready, so if you haven't kept count, you can always look at that. Down special becomes a high kill power explosion around Forsburn. Empowered side special allows the clone to attack the opponent. Empowered neutral special immediately exhales a large amount of smoke, and gives his double jump back if he lost it. And empowered up special is... wait, this one doesn't actually do anything different or use up his smoke charge. Never mind. Up next is Clairen, and there's really not a ton to cover with her. The tip of her blade causes opponents to take extra damage, knockback, and way more hit stun. I'm talking like comical amounts of hit stun. She can also use her special pummel to empower her throws with extra hit stun as well. In order to avoid this when getting thrown, just make sure you're mashing special when you get grabbed by her. I guess one thing that looks scary if you don't know what it does is her down special. It's a counter that puts a huge circle on screen when Clairen successfully counters something. All projectiles are immediately destroyed inside or upon entering the field. This gives her a little extra breathing room against zoners. After it's activated, it'll dissipate a few seconds later. Oh, also, if for whatever reason you let her charge her neutral special all the way, it becomes a super mega death laser. Realistically, in a 1v1 though, she should never have the chance to pull this off. But yeah, that's about it for her. Coming around to Loxodont now, he's not too crazy, but he does have a few tricks up his sleeve. The main one being his lava pools. While they look kind of dangerous, the real danger is letting Loxodont stand in them. These lava pools get put down after Loxodont uses certain moves on the ground, such as down tilt, grounded side special, neutral special, special ledge get up, landing on stage with up special, and special pummel. When Loxodont stands in these pools, they go away shortly after providing him with a stack of magma charge, going up to 3. You can also tell how many charges he has based on how much magma he has on his body. 1 being his lower half, 2 being everything except his head, and 3 covering his entire body. Loxodont can choose to use 1 stack at a time by using his strong attacks, giving them each an additional lingering explosion hitbox based on how long he charges them. Or he can consume all of his magma stacks by using his down special. His down special's hitbox is larger and sends him further for each magma stack he has. He mainly wants to use these for combos as they give insane extensions, or as an extra option to recover. It should be noted that some attacks have different properties when used on top of the lava. For example, his down throw changes from a tech chase to a combo throw when performed on top of a lava pool. His dash attack is also buffed slightly with a little extra range, but it's nothing crazy. If you want to prevent him from building up stacks, you can stand in these puddles yourself to make them go away. Just to be clear though, Loxodont can only gain a stack and you can only get rid of a pool if you're not doing an action, and that includes blocking. If you're shielding or attacking, the puddle cannot be used by Lox or destroyed by his opponents. Just keep that in mind. These pools will also get removed if Loxodont does another move that would put a pool down. That's enough about Loxodont though. Let's take to the skies and have a look at Wrastor. The most glaring difference between Wrastor and the rest of the cast is that he doesn't have strong attacks on the ground. Instead, he has them in the air. While freezing mid-air seems like a pretty silly gimmick, it makes his juggles and advantage state much more dangerous, so watch out. His side special throws a small projectile that leaves behind a trail of wind. He's unable to throw a second gust until the previous trail dissipates. If he misses entirely, the purple stream doesn't do anything. If he hits you or your shield though, the trail becomes empowered. When Wrastor's in the empowered trail, he gains a substantial speed buff to run you down with. If Wrastor grabs you, he's yet another character you want to watch out for the special pummel against. It drags you high into the sky and creates a platform for Wrastor to throw you on, putting you into some pretty scary positions. Prevent him from doing this by pressing the special button after he grabs you. Oh yeah, he also has multiple jumps. At the current point in time, he's the only character in the game with multiple mid-air jumps. Let's slow things down a little bit and take a look at Kragg. Kragg doesn't have too many special mechanics, but man, does he love his rock. By using neutral special on the ground or special get up attack, Kragg pulls a rock out of the ground. While Kragg has a rock, he can only move left and right, jump from the ground, meaning no double jumps, or throw the rock. While this may sound bad for Kragg, rock good. After hitting you with the rock, he can quickly pick it back up and throw it again for some pretty wild combos. Kragg or his opponent can also break the rock, sending pebbles flying in the direction that it's hit. If Kragg is feeling feisty though, he can do aerial neutral special on top of you, or hit you with a special pummel. This makes you rock. He's effectively able to throw you the same way he'd be able to throw his rock. This includes being able to land some pretty nasty tech chases and kill confirms. His up special may look kinda broken at first, since it makes a platform with a hitbox that hits towards him the entire screen length below him, but if the platform is destroyed while someone's standing on top of it, they go into freefall and can fall to their death. Yes, this includes you. Kragg also cannot call another pillar until he touches the ground of the stage, meaning that if you hit Kragg off stage when he's already called a pillar, he can't call a second one. What he can do to recover though is cancel his side special with shield, which gives him a small hop forward with a lot of momentum. If he doesn't jump cancel it immediately though, Kragg will be forced into this weird spin dash looking thing. While rolling, Kragg has super armor and can jump cancel the move on contact with something, even if he just hits his own rock or wall. You should look to avoid the move entirely or parry it if possible when you see it. If he hasn't come into contact with anything, once he stops rolling, Kragg will have to go through a ton of in-lag, so just punish him then. While Kragg can be as simple as beating people to death with a rock, Fleet is a bit more complicated. Right out of the gate, we can see that she has an arrow meter attached to her character portrait, so let's talk about that first. Using her neutral special as a toggle, Fleet can empower some of her moves that use arrows. This includes her forward and up strongs, down special, back throw, jab 3, special pummel, and special ledge get up. The empowered shots place a time bomb on the opponent that explodes after a short delay. If her opponent hits her with the timer still active though, the bomb transfers back to her. If Fleet misses one of these arrow shots and they land in the ground, she can run over to pick them up and refill her arrow gauge. If she runs out of arrows completely, her neutral special will instead pull out an apple for her to eat, replenishing one arrow. Food can also be made, then ran over and consumed by hitting someone with her attack pummel or special get up attack. The next most complex thing in her kit though is her float. She does this by holding the jump button and can stop floating at any time after the float begins, or is forced to stop floating after roughly 1.5 seconds. And she can float at any height just by tapping down while holding the jump button. Using her float in combination with the gust of wind that follows her side special allows Fleet to get a sudden upwards boost during her float. That wraps up Fleet as we dash right into Maypul. Possibly the most dangerous thing to look out for is her mark. Maypul can apply her mark with her neutral special projectile, side special, aerial down special, or special get up attack. Once you have the mark on you, the only way to get rid of it is by shielding one of Maypul's strong attacks, landing a successful parry, or taking Maypul's stock. The mark itself can be consumed by Maypul through certain actions. If she hits you with a strong attack with an active mark, it'll stun you for a brief period of time. She can also press attack and special at the same time to pull herself to a marked enemy. This can give her an easy recovery tool or allow her to go for some crazy combo extensions. Maypul also has a few plant friends that help her out in different ways. Her down special puts down Lily, who attacks opponents on top of her. If someone is marked, Lily also stuns opponents when Maypul hits opponents into her. This can lead to some pretty nasty kill setups if Maypul is able to combo into Lily. Maypul can also toss her neutral special towards Lily and she'll throw it upwards. A fun trick you can do against Lily though is run up and parry her bite. This will give you invincibility for a short while that you can use to approach Maypul with. The next one is Terry. Terry is Maypul's special from Ledge, acting as an attack when spawned, but staying around afterwards for Maypul to bounce seeds off of or tether onto. Terry goes away after Maypul tethers to him or after a few seconds after being spawned. And lastly is Poppy. Poppy gets placed on opponents when Maypul does special pummel. If hit with a seed after being placed on someone, Poppy will explode and send the opponent back towards Maypul for extra combos. I would say those are the most complicated things about Maypul, but she's got a few other little tricks to look out for. Currently, Maypul is the only character in the game that can wall cling. This allows her to mix up her recovery times quite a bit. And finally, Maypul's down air is a little root that pops up from the ground. I mostly mention this because it can be a little discombobulating at first. Now that Maypul's wrapped up, let's go ahead and dive into Orcane. Everything complicated about Orcane revolves around this little puddle. He can put it down with neutral special or down special, and it only goes away once he places a new puddle or uses it to empower or perform certain moves. He can detonate this puddle with down special to create a long-lasting hitbox of bubbles for zone control, or teleport to the puddle with up special as a recovery or a high kill power combo ender. He has a ton of in lag on the teleport though, so punish him hard if you ever call out this move. He can also teleport to it as an extra mix-up in tech chase situations using his special get-up attack. Most commonly though, Orcane can stand in this puddle to empower certain actions. When Orcane uses any of his strong attacks when standing in the puddle, they gain additional range, damage, and knockback. His side special also gets extra damage and knockback, but no extra range. If he has a puddle on stage when he's on ledge, Orcane can use his special ledge get up and hold it until he gets into the puddle. By doing this, it makes him actionable after the attack, where otherwise he'd be super vulnerable. The last thing you really gotta look out for though is his special pummel and empowered forward throw. Orcane's special pummel teleports himself and whoever he has grabbed to his puddle. From there, his forward throw can be empowered by the puddle, giving it a ton of extra kill power. To finish things up, let's jump right into Ranno. Speaking of jumping, Ranno is the only character in the game with a super jump. Like every other character in the game, he has short hops and full hops. But by holding down before pressing jump, he jumps really high. This makes him really good at landing and then getting back into position to juggle again, or covering high recoveries easily on reaction. Okay, but that's probably not what caught you off guard when fighting this character. The weirdest thing about him is his bubble mechanic. Ranno can trap people inside his bubbles in a couple different ways. For one, if he lands a side special command grab, he'll spit an opponent back out in a bubble. Secondly, he can use his down special to place and position a bubble anywhere he'd like. And lastly, his special get up attack and ledge special get up attack places a bubble from where he gets up. Once the bubble is down, Ranno or the other player can hit the bubble to reposition it, or hit opponents into the bubble to trap them inside briefly. The time in which someone is trapped inside the bubble can be extended if Ranno has stacks of poison on them prior to hitting them into the bubble. The more stacks they have, the longer they're trapped. He can place stacks on his opponents by hitting them with his neutral special, both hits of his up special, by pressing the attack button after part 1 of his up special, or using his special pummel for max stacks. When someone is hit inside the bubble, their momentum gets halted, and they can be hit with follow-up attacks for extra damage while inside. The momentum halt can also be used intentionally by Ranno to save himself from an otherwise deadly attack. Another quick thing to note is that Ranno's aerial side special is more so used as an additional movement option. He can use it on the ground, platforms, or his own bubble for an extra burst of speed that can cancel into different actions, such as jumps, slide boosted tilts, and other general movement mix-ups. I also want to mention that when Ranno fully charges his forward smash, he shoots out a high kill power projectile when performing the attack. Since he has to fully charge it, you shouldn't find yourself getting caught off guard by it too often, but it can be a jump scare if you don't know about it, and I'd hate to hear someone lose a tournament set from not knowing. But that wraps up every character's special mechanics in Rivals of Aether 2's release. Let me know what you guys thought. This game can be really complicated to get into, and the complex character mechanics, while debatably the coolest thing about the game, can be a little overwhelming for new players that aren't already familiar with them. So I hope this video helped you familiarize yourself with it all, so that you can appreciate the creative and complex designs of the game even more. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. It really does help out a ton to get my channel off the ground, and I hope to keep putting out informative and entertaining content. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.